Well, hello, Jason Starbuck here with On the Move Car Audio, where I help car audio shops go from the old school to the digital new school. And in this training, totally free, you can learn from this. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a thing called what is internet marketing, what are some of the key factors that are involved, the most important ones. And then the other one is, why does it even matter? All right, so the very first one, I've got 4 different points here. And the first one is, what is the number one thing you can do to display trust in your local community? All right. Number 2 is, what is LTV and why does that matter? What does LTV matter? And then the next one is the power of multiple channels. Okay. And then the last one is, how does internet marketing make closing your customer easier once they come to your shop? So these are the key points. Stick around for a few minutes. I'm going to walk through each one of them with you. If at any time during this presentation and training, which is totally free, you can hang out, but if at any time at this time and during this training that you're interested in me getting on a call with you, go ahead and click on the link that you have in this email, or if you're on this landing page right here, you can scroll down, schedule a time with me, and I'll do a one-on-one strategy meeting with you where I can go over what we coined the car audio gap detection, where what you can do is actually find the only pieces of the puzzle that you need to get going and to fill the gaps in your business so that you can get this communicated to your customers. So let's go ahead and get started in the training. I look forward to it. Here we go. All right, so I took a minute and I went ahead and changed this screen. I'm going to go ahead and do this a few different times in this training, but I'll go through them pretty quickly and get to the point. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is that I always use this example of a dentist. And the reason why is that the majority of people that are out there that want to get their teeth done, they are afraid that they're going to be in what? Pain. And so if you had the feeling or you had the comfort that somebody an hour away was not going to create pain for you as a dentist, then you definitely would drive that hour away to get away from any pain. So what happens is they need to get their teeth done, or they want to get their teeth done. However, if you can release the fear from them that they're not going to have any pain, they would go hundreds of miles if it's with your teeth. The same thing that happens with your car audio shop. It is about releasing the pain or the fear that somebody's going to work on your car. It's a very personal experience. So how does that happen? The very first one is that there's a referral that sits here. Maybe somebody tells you about your shop. The second one is you run ads, which is the best way because we can monetize what our ROI is on that ad. And then the last one is they use Google My Business, which this is a product I usually start with most of my clients, which is our GMAT boost. Then from there, they will then, even if they call you, they then will go to your site to see, hey, what kind of work do they do? Do they have the services that I'm looking for? And if they do, they then will look for that example, just like the example of their teeth. And some of the best examples that we are doing on our standout packages, if you have a chance or if you're interested in it is time about getting a new site, we have an awesome standout package where we do a one-time build out and then it's a monthly pay, but they're awesome. A lot of our clients are enjoying them. However, what they do is they look at your site, and then because I do look at analytics quite often for shops, what I find is that the installation page and the offers or specials page, sometimes we do a weekly ad depending on how much traffic we get. However, the installations page, or sometimes people do gallery back in the old day, that's the old day ways. But this is how they determine if they're gonna drive a further distance. So just like any other shop, you've only got so much area, so you're geo-targeted in an area, and you can only get the people outside of your area to come further if they see examples of your work. All right, so that's number 1. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so here's the second one. The second one is an LTV. And what is LTV? It stands for long-term value of the customer. Now, why is that super important to you? The reason why is because it is much easier to sell to somebody that's already purchased from you than somebody that's cold and you're trying to convert with them on another level. So let's put this in perspective here. I did all these little green dots here. It kind of looks like it's Christmas time. But if you look at this right here, these are all representatives of how many people out there that you can target that are going to want your product. If somebody that's going to want your product, you're going to want to give them enough information to be able to purchase from you, okay? But how do we get them to purchase again from you? Everything comes down to data. If I have somebody take an action, and if you've watched any of my videos before, the actions are a driving direction, right? Driving, or a click to call. This is where I work with my Limitless clients to try and get them more actions every single month, and I monitor that by making small changes and looking inside the analytics to see what are those. But that's my Limitless program. If you ever want to chat about it, I'll talk with you about that. However, let's say that they take an action, they come into your shop. What happens? They purchase a deal, right? And on average, I'm very familiar that let's just use the number of $500 on average, your average ticket if they're coming into the store. Makes it fairly easy. If I have, let's say, 10 transactions, I've now got $5,000 out of 10 clients that have come up to me, okay? So in this area, like I said before, geo-targeting is the people that are in your local area, all right? So if I get an action, and either that by ad spend or any other way we can get them to come to the store or make a phone call, they purchase something, then from there, what I need to do is collect the data from them. Now there's two pieces of the most important information. There's really three, and we can use that route, but when we're talking digital, you want to collect their email address, right? Because this thing keeps paying, right? And then the second one is their phone number. All right, why? Because we can use email to send them more offers, educate them, and we can also send them the link. I always talk about my GMAT boost because there's just so much involved in it, but I also can send them with my GMAT boost, I can send them a review link asking them for their review so that I can multiply that so I can get referrals from, let's say, Google My Business, or I strengthen the deal by just saying, thank you very much for your business. I send them an email and let them know that it's important that they purchase from us again. The second one is you can collect the phone number. And why is that? Because in our Limitless campaign product, I can then send them text messages. If I can send them text messages and automate that system, then I'm at what? Top of mind. If I'm at top of mind, I get an opportunity to what? Create another offer and ask them for their business. So if I were to take this scenario and I were to say that I sold 2 cold customers, right? Fresh new customers, never met them before. If I were to collect their information, right? And from there, just using these numbers, if I sold them 10 people, right? 500, that would be $5,000. Out of those 10 people, if I use automated systems, and I can get a long-term value of that customer, if I can sell 2 more of them, right? Just 2 more of them. If I spent XYZ to collect this customer's information, I've now cut that by probably let's just use the number 25%, okay? So if I can sell 2 more with that same ad spend or effort, I can sell them $1,000 worth of more product to them in a life or long-term value of that ad spend or long-term value of the customer. This is what the big boys do. The good news is if you have the tools, which are not too expensive, if you have the tools to be able to do that, you can play with the big boys, automate your system, have your staff collecting information that you can keep forever. Now imagine if it's 5 years, 6 years down the road. Let's say, I don't know, maybe those same customers, you can get them to come back and spend maybe only $300, but let's say out of those 10 over 5 years, you've got 5 of them that come back. You've now generated $1,500 from what? One automated system. Now, that's only 10 customers, just 10 customers alone. If you look at how many customers you bring in every single day, how many purchase from you, it multiplies over and over as the years go on. All right, so let's go on to the next one. All right, so this one's about multiple channels, okay, and what the power of multiple channels does. All right, so For any of you guys who have been in business for a very long time, I anchor off of always be closing a lot. Now, a lot of times in business for the last 20 and 30 years, we would leverage off of a number of 3 to 4 times a customer needs to see your ad, or maybe someone needs to pitch them an offer, or someone needs to talk about you. They need to hear about your company, about your car audio wheel shop 3 to 4 different times for them to make an ideal good decision to buy from you. However, what has happened? This number over the last 5 to 10 years, because of digital and all this information that we have, we're taking in more information than we ever have. So, what does that mean? We've got to see the car audio shop between 7 and 10 times. Okay? 7 to 10 times they have to see you. Now, here's the power of multiple channels. People are now looking for information in different areas, and the good news is you can put yourself right in front of them. So here is the main channels where customers are starting to go. They've been going on there for a while, but this is where you need to be. And you can knock out these 7 to 10 multiple times easily if you have the ability to be on multiple channels, because they're in different lanes, they're in different traffic zones all the time. So how do we do that? One is you can purchase Google ads. People get surprised. You know, we always focus on Facebook and Instagram. People are surprised on how much I can convert a Google ad. And the reason why is Google acts off of 2 things. One is they actually type a keyword in that they're interested in getting a specific product. By the way, car stereo shop near me or stereos near me are some of your #1 keywords. So that might bring you some value right now. If you're not using those, then you need to use those. There's also 2 or 3 different long-term keywords that you can use inside car audio shops, which maybe we'll talk about in another training. In the Facebook ads, right, this is your second channel. This is ran by emotion. This is getting them to get interested in something, moving them on to the next page, and then looking at what you have to try to convert them further down the line. The third one that they're using is Google My Business. Now, a lot of people, if I say the word Yelp, they pretty much want to light a piece of paper on fire because it seems like it's counterintuitive. However, Google My Business over the last 3 to 5 years has been challenging Yelp a lot. If you go into your Google account and you type in car stereos, you're going to find, hopefully maybe you make it on there, but you'll notice that depending if you type your own company in there, you'll notice that your company comes up, but Yelp is coming up less and less and less. And that obviously is designed by Google so that they can do that. And I always mention to you our Google My Business where I can multiply that for you. However, when you look at Google My Business, that's another place where they can see you. And then the next one that's converting very well is Instagram in video ads. Video ads are converting tremendously. In a, let's say, Facebook ad or a Google ad, you're probably going to be converting between 0.80 and 1.7 or let's say 1.78. I'm just going to throw an 8 in there because just sound good. But these are maybe your conversion ratios to get them to click on an ad. Okay. When you do Instagram or you do Facebook, your click-through rates are a little bit lower, but your engagement in what you're doing is a little bit higher. When you look at the keywords of your actual pieces, when I do video, I'm getting conversion ratios of over 2.5%. Okay? So with that, you've got your Google My Business, you've got your Instagram, you've got your Facebook. These are your main channels where you need to try and hit your 7 to 10 times so that you can what? Make your offer to your customer. All right? So that is multiple channels. I got one more for you guys. All right, so if you made it to this last part of the video, congratulations. You're a small few of the people that I like to talk with because you invest in yourself, which means that you're willing to invest in your business. So here's what I want to show you right now. on this part, this is about how do I make the sale easier. I'm going to tell you a quick story about a client of mine. His name is Stereo Steve. Such a good dude. When we started, he didn't have really anything, and we moved him in, and from doing almost like 2 actions a day to getting to 15, 20, 25 actions a day. And remember, those are calls and driving directions. That's right before you can do what you do best, which is always be closing. So he has this, he sends me a video. He's literally in a Home Depot, and he sends me in the video and he goes, hey, check this out. And he looks over, he says, see that guy over there? And he's got this real grungy voice. He goes, hey, he just came up to me and goes, hey man, you're Stereo Steve, aren't you? He's like, hey man, I gotta come in and see you because I have this piece of the stereo that he needs to get done. And he just turns the camera, he's like, it works, man, it totally works. So this stuff works. If you get yourself top of mind with your customer and you make offers with them, you make more money. It works just like that. So check this out. So why is it that when a customer like Stereo Steve has a scenario happen like that, where someone recognizes him, when he comes into the shop, he doesn't do what? Grind him, grind him, grind him. And the reason why is because you've already broken that barrier. Many times people grind for price for one reason only, because they don't trust that you're going to get the job done that they want to get done. When they know that you'll get the job done, they don't grind for price because they want the value out of you. They want you to work just like you did for the customer before and what they're sharing. So how do we do that? So internet marketing, what that does is it gives you an opportunity to build trust, right, before the customer comes in. Now, if you're familiar with Always Be Closing, and again, I always use this because you and I know that Always Be Closing has been around for a very long time. Always Be Closing is a sales process. You've got process 1, which is close them at the meet and greet. Make sure I put on my shirt, make sure I look good, make sure I look presentable, make sure your staff and your salespeople look presentable. That is a checkbox. Second one, sell yourself. You've heard of icebreakers. You know, hey, how you doing? I recognize that you came up in a Ford F-150 with monster wheels. I used to have that exact same set. Do you like it? Boom, broke the barrier. The next one that you have is sell the company. But here's what has changed with internet marketing. It's something I'm doing right now. I'm doing this with you. And the reason I'm doing so, if I ever get on the phone with you, I get a chance that you already have kind of learned some things about Jason Starbuck. And not only that, you've been educated. And if you get educated, then you're just curious about, hey, is this a price point that we can work together like my Limitless program or any of those? So one of the pieces of the Always Be Closing is education. Okay? This is what Radio Shack was known for better than anyone. Also Sears as well, but they went under. Why did they go under? Because they didn't create the education inside of the internet where everybody is going because they're staring at their phones when their significant other is inside the store, or when they're just hanging out and their kids are playing in the yard and they're looking at their phone. So if I were to look at these, how do I relate to you, right? How do I build trust in you, and how do I build interest, okay? I use internet marketing to do these exact same things by running ads and retargeting them more information so that when they come into your shop, the Always Be Closing part of education, you don't have to hard sell them anymore. And at that point, you would give them what? Features and benefits, and then from there you would what? Ask them for the sale, right? Ask them for the sale. This is something, I just had one of my clients that I was working with, and I just looked up his phone records. And what I do is I'll go back with my clients that are my Limitless program, and I'll look at the calls and I'll listen to them. And one thing that I found for this client, we were down on Mondays and Tuesdays. The reason why he was down on Mondays and Tuesdays was very clear. His best salesperson worked on Wednesdays. His person that was working on Mondays and Tuesdays, he wasn't asking for the sale. He wasn't saying, hey, you know what? If this is the product that you're looking for of XYZ, when would you like to set up an appointment? Does today not work for you? How about Tuesday or Wednesday? So, all right, so recap really quick. You've got marketing does what? Builds trust, creates a relationship, it builds interest, flip those, and it educates them so that it gets easier. And by there, you get bigger ticket items because people trust you. So this is a video that has now shared with you all the things about internet marketing in specific areas that can help you grow your car audio and your wheel shop. So with that, like I said, hey, I wouldn't do my job if I didn't want to get to know you a little bit better. Go ahead and put your, go ahead and go to the bottom. There's a calendar there, and you can choose what day works for you. Put a little information on maybe where you're at as a shop. If you don't put anything, that's perfectly fine. But pick a date, set up a time, and we can sit down and create a strategy call and go over the most important thing. A company, car audio company, gap detection. This company gap detection will determine the exact processes and the exact systems that you need to put in play that will solve all of these different processes that I just talked about. So Jason Starbuck here with On the Move Car Audio. I look forward to getting to know you and watching your shop grow.